The definition of a function. A function f from a set A to a set B is a relation that assigns to each element x in the set A exactly one element in the set B. The set A is the domain, or the set of all inputs of the function f, and the set B contains the range, or the set of all outputs of the function f. Each element in A must be matched with an element in B. Some elements in B may not be matched with any element in A. Two or more elements in A may be matched with the same element in B, but an element in A, the domain, cannot be matched with two different elements in B. There are 4 different ways to represent a function. You can represent it verbally by a sentence that describes how the input variable is related to the output variable. You can represent it tabularly by a table or a list of ordered pairs that matches input values with output values. You can represent it graphically by points on a graph in a coordinate plane in which the input values are represented by the horizontal axis and the output values are represented by the vertical axis. And you can represent it algebraically by an equation in 2 variables. When given a table of values or a t-chart, if the left-hand side is your domain or your input values, and the right-hand side is your range or your output values, this input and this output creates the ordered pair. So this is x and this is y. 3, -5 becomes my ordered pair. And in function notation, this means f of 3 is equal to -5. When x is -7/3, y is 16. So x is -7/3 and y is 16. This also means that f of -7/3 must be equal to 16. 8/10 and 0. When x is 8/10, y is 0. F of 0.8 as an input value is equal to 0 as an output value. The graph of a function f of x is the collection of ordered pairs such that x is in the domain of f. The vertical line test, a set of points in the coordinate plane, is the graph of y as a function of x if and only if no vertical line intersects the graph of y more than once. In these examples, when you draw a vertical line through the function, if it intersects the graph more than one time anywhere, then it is not a function. If when you draw a vertical line, it doesn't intersect the graph more than one time, then it is a function. And number 3, this is a really common problem that you see on standardized tests because a circle is a familiar shape, But a circle is not a function because it fails the vertical line test. And number 4, again, if I draw those vertical lines, it's never going to intersect more than once. This is a function. And number 5, this is what we call a periodic function. But even when I draw the vertical lines through a periodic function, it still does not intersect the graph more than once. So this graph represents a function. And number 6, you have to be careful. It's not a function, but it's not a function not because of these 2 lines. This open circle means that the function is not actually defined there. It's like a hole in the graph. So even though it looks like it's crossing the graph in more than one place, it's really only crossing the graph once. However, this vertical line intersects the graph in 2 points. So this is not the graph of a function.